Good evening and welcome to Saturday Review on Nta Lagos Channel 10. I am Essie Onwamaka, and to the stories that made rounds today, we have that supplementary elections conducted in 24 states were adjudged to be peaceful and in most cases started early. Timothy Yusuf monitors the exercise and reports.
The saying that it is not yet over until it is finally over is the scenario that played out across 24 states in the country. Supplementary governorship elections in Adamawa and Kebbi states, 5 senatorial districts, 31 federal constituencies, and 58 state assembly constituencies. For the second time, after the February 25 and March 18, 2023 polls, the electorate came out to decide the fate of the affected states, where elections were declared inconclusive.
Prior to today, the supplementary elections was announced that it would be holding on the 15th of April, and the state office here has been prepared. And today there are 2 constituencies that are affected. One is the state constituency, which is Ogbea 2, which has 4 wards and 94 polling units, and of course Satan Ijo federal constituencies, which about 6 wards were affected with 32 polling units.
We have enough securities on ground to avoid the reoccurrence of what happened during the first election.
While the electoral umpire INEC has already restated commitment to a credible election, the electorate expressed satisfaction with the outcome of the polls.
A lot of people have come out to exercise their franchise, and everybody is going about the election peacefully. There is no any issue of violence.
An yi zaɓe lahiya, an ƙare lahiya, matsara da an ka kawo sun yi tsakanin da Allah, an yi aiki ba a samu confusion ɗin komi ba.
Results of the elections are expected to be announced and declared by INEC soon. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Away from elections, Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation is doing everything possible towards the full institutionalization and operationalization of the performance management system and the public service by 2025. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemieson, said this at a retreat for permanent secretaries on the institutionalization of PMS and the public service. Haman Jabani reports.
Institutionalization of performance management system, which is to transit from the use of the annual performance evaluation report APA framework, is aimed at providing a systematic process of planning work, setting targets, providing support to employers, and measuring results, providing the framework for continuous tracking of employers' performance in a manner that is consistent and measurable for development and improve workers' capacity and motivate them for increased productivity. The focus areas, among others, in the new PMS within the implementation framework of the Federal Civil Service Strategic and Implementation Plan 2021-2025 are to finalize performance measures at the individual and unit levels about key performance indicators targets, introduce regular performance appraisal and dialogues to obtain multiple source feedback, introduce a performance monitoring and reporting system, and implement an effective incentive and consequence management system. Others are introducing development plan that incorporate the employer's development objectives and components in performance plans, professionalize human resources management, introducing a performance-related pay system, publishing annual reports on PMS, timely report dashboard metrics across all MDAs, and initiating voluntary exit package programs.
The ongoing transition process of the country's governance further underscores the importance of sustaining an automated system of tracking and measuring performance. This is with a view of ensuring that an incoming administration has all the information it requires to get underway with the business of governance.
The new and modern performance management system, which will serve as a tool for appraising employers' performance and the delivering of institutional mandate in the federal public service, will put the service at a path of sustainable and improved service delivery to Nigerians. The retreat is expected to provide clear strategies and develop capacity for the full rollout of performance management system across all MDAs. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
Global value chains are the backbone of trade, owing to the fact that it makes up to 45 to 65% of world trade and helps increase the spread of income per capita of developing countries. Director General World Trade Organization Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala at the World Bank IMF spring meetings in Washington, D.C. emphasized on building resilience in the global value chain. Abolade Salami reports.
The Director General of World Trade Organization WTO, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, is calling for the diversification of global supply chains as global trade feels the bite of geopolitical tensions, sanctions, and restrictions. The WTO DG said in situations when global supply chains try to build resilience by not being too concentrated in one country or the other, there is need to see this as an opportunity to encourage them to spread to more developing countries, because this can be used as a force for inclusion and to bring even small medium-scale enterprises and women into the value chain.
This study of West Africa, it showed that only 25% of the trade finance needs in West Africa are being met. This is below the average of 40% for the whole of the continent. And if we were to bring up the access to trade finance within West Africa to the overall average of Africa, trade in the region could increase by 8%.
Managing Director, International Finance Corporation, Makta Diop, is of the view that the moment trade facilitation talks between China plus Morocco, China plus Egypt, and China plus Nigeria is of focus, global value chains can really be a force for inclusion.
I would like to make clear in people's mind that the momentum that we are trying to push is trade to fight poverty, trade to include lower income countries in the supply chain. And the potential in Nigeria to develop the pharmaceutical industry is immense.
Panelists here agree that financial inclusion has spread over several countries, including developing countries, and this has helped create jobs and increase income. But more still needs to be done. From Washington, D.C., Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Now, away from the stories that made rounds today, Saturday Review will come your way after this timeout. To join us again.
Lucky Spring from 1xBet. Take part in promotion with cool prizes. Bet on the any sports events. Get tickets. Have a chance to win cool prizes. The more you bet, the greater your chances. Use promo code to get a welcome bonus right now.
It's more tonic time. More tonic, it's nourishes to the last drop. Cherry frenzy. It's good for me and you.
Maltonic is enriched with vitamins and minerals for that rush of vitality you need to reach greatness.
It's more tonic time.
Lucky Spring from 1xBet. Take part in promotion with cool prizes. Bet on the any sports events. Get tickets. Have a chance to win cool prizes. The more you bet, the greater your chances. Use promo code to get a welcome bonus right now.
Welcome back, and to the events that happened during the course of the week. We have that the Lagos State House Assembly says it will no longer tolerate unilateral appointments made by the state government without recourse to the approval of the Legislative House in line with its constitutional powers. Speaker Lagos House of Assembly Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa gave the warning at the plenary session in Lagos. Musa Chole report.
The lawmakers demanded to know why the state government has continued to violate Section 196, Subsection 2 of the Constitution, which mandates the Assembly to screen nominees before being appointed by the government. The motion was moved under a matter of urgent public importance by the Deputy Majority Leader, Honorable Naim Adams.
As the Chairman, House Committee on Legislative Compliance, I have observed that majority of the boards, appointment to boards and other agencies were not brought, they did not appear before this noble House of Assembly.
Some lawmakers see the action by the state government as an attempt to usurp the powers of the state assembly.
If they need to rescind that decision, withdraw those appointments so that we can do things in the right manner. And this house must be respected.
And it is our constitutional right that those people that have collected so much from this state without being cleared should please recover such back to the cover.
Speaker, Lagos House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, however, warns that the Assembly will resist any attempt to put the principle of separation of powers in jeopardy.
It's totally an infraction and a violation of these House laws. And immediately, those that have started receiving salaries should be stopped immediately, and the letter issued to them by the head of service should be withdrawn, pending their appearance before this House.
The House of Assembly resolved to summon the Lagos State Head of Service, the Accountant General, and the Commissioner for Training and Establishment. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Like an unhealing sore, fuel subsidy in Nigeria has evaded several attempts at its removal. Not anymore, or so it appears, as the federal government takes a definitive stand to cut ties with subsidies considered a conduit for draining the nation's commonwealth. Over now to Onegi, a fine face on the fuel subsidy narrative in Nigeria.
For every litre of petrol one buys, the federal government pays a portion of the price. In Nigeria, petrol is bought at a price much lower than the actual market price. This enables the federal government to regulate or fix pump price for petrol. The portion of money paid by the federal government for every litre of petrol bought is what is commonly known as fuel subsidy. If subsidy is removed, the cost of petrol will be determined by market forces. Governments can no longer fix the price of fuel, which in actual sense is part of the recommended steps of the nation's historic Petroleum Industry Act, the PIA. Fuel subsidy in Nigeria dates back to the 1970s, following the oil shock of 1973, which spiked the price of oil in the international market. In 2011, Nigeria spent more than 2 trillion naira on fuel subsidy. The figure almost doubled to 4.39 trillion naira in 2022. Despite the huge sums paid as subsidy, fuel prices remain unstable. Nigerians continue to lament the enrichment of a few individuals, the cabal, if you may. The popular demand remains: remove fuel subsidy.
Number 10 is liberalizing, where every dealer have the right and the potential to import the product and equally sell at its own capacity. Purchasers too, at the end angle, can equally decide to buy wherever angle they want to buy at any price. It will equally affect the price mechanism. But when you sell your own for 150 and the other man sells for 200, the other man sells for 90 now, I will prefer buy from the man of 90 naira.
Successive administrations have attempted to stop the subsidy payment. They failed. In January 2012, the Goodluck Jonathan administration came close to removing fuel subsidy. A major protest followed, and subsidy payments continued. At last, the current administration is daring what had seemed almost impossible. June 2023 is pegged to say good riddance to fuel subsidy in Nigeria.
This is a commitment in the Petroleum Industry Bill. There's a provision that says that 18 months after the effectiveness of the PIA, that all petroleum products must be deregulated. That 18 months takes us to June 2023.
To cushion the likely initial effect, a World Bank loan of $800 million is secured. It will provide palliatives to 50 million Nigerians in 10 million households.
Because if people are given a little money, okay, this is the immediate direct, fine. That will be in order. But the important thing that needs to happen is that that subsidy must go. And it's for us to have a holistic perspective. It's impacting negatively on manufacturing because it's competing for the same funds, the same forex, every other thing that requires foreign exchange. The bulk of it is being taken by this subsidy because the fuel is imported.
And as much as the expenses of a worker relates to his salary, I think something should be done about it. Something should be done about their augmenting their salaries in order for them to cope with the removal of the subsidy.
Experts in the energy sector and even those not so lettered are for once unanimous and hopeful. Will the switch to subsidizing the rich to the not so well off achieve its goal? Time, only time will tell. Onengie Fine Face, Nta News.
In health, in line with the federal government's drive to achieve universal health coverage to adequately meet the health needs of citizens, primary health care centers across Lagos State are being revamped. So far, more than 20 of them have been upgraded to global standards. Joy Ken Abagboya reports.
Primary health care centers, the first contact at a community level with health facilities, is the most critical stage in healthcare service delivery. At this level, minor health challenges with the potential of becoming life-threatening are detected early and treated. Public sensitization on disease prevention and control, maternal and child care, immunization, and mental health care are also handled at this level. To reduce pressure on secondary and tertiary health institutions in Lagos, the government at both the federal and state levels began revamping the more than 280 primary healthcare centers in the state. Princess Akinlade and Deborah have had cause to use primary healthcare centers in Lagos.
My daughter was having a headache and I was like, okay, let me take her to the healthcare center before I proceed to the hospital. But to my surprise, they did a very good job. They are so friendly. They took proper care of her.
The equipment are okay. So far, so good. We've not had any issues. And the healthcare services is also top-notch.
If you go there, you take your injection, or if you have any vaccine to take, they will tell you, they will mark your card for you, but you have to wait and you have time to queue.
While a lot has been done to fortify hitherto moribund primary healthcare facilities in the state, several challenges still need attention.
The biggest challenge that we face at the primary healthcare level is personnel. You know, the government needs to do a lot more work to make working at primary healthcare centers attractive to the healthcare providers.
Respondents further opined that to attain universal health coverage, which is the target, private sector involvement is required, especially at primary healthcare levels. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakbuya, NTA News.
Also in the course of the week, rehabilitation and expansion work along the Lagos-Badagry Expressway has reached appreciable stage with sustained funding of the project through the NNPC to fully exploit the economic prospects along the regional corridor. Works and Housing Minister Babatunde Fashola, who made this known while inspecting ongoing construction in Lagos, assured that rehabilitation of the Kara and Otedola bridges in Ward Lagos will be delivered by April 30 as planned. Joy Popola completes the report.
The Lagos-Badagry Expressway, which is about 1,048 kilometers, is a very strategic investment designed to boost regional trade in West Africa as it links the Abidjan trade route. With nearly 50% of the road rehabilitation and construction achieved, each free vehicular movement and other benefits are already manifesting. Works and Housing Minister Babatunde Fashola expressed satisfaction with the pace of work, which he says is being handled by different contractors to ensure speedy completion.
We are in the last 22 kilometer sections to Badagry roundabout. On one side, the Badagry bound side, except for the first 3 kilometers, work has been completed all the way to kilometer 22. What is left is just the wearing course now that you see is being installed at kilometer 21 plus 800, so just about 200 meters to kilometer 22.
With funding guaranteed through the NMPC tax credit, the minister says completion of the project is certain in spite of the current administration being in the twilight of its tenure.
Beyond this, from Badagry roundabout, it will be the rehabilitation of the existing two-lane highway, and that work will start when they finish this side and complete the work on the mile 2 bound section.
Traditional ruler of Ibereko, Oba Israel Ade Okoya, commended the federal government for the gesture.
Now, if you live here by 6:05, Badagry to Lagos and under 1 hour, we're happy.
On the remaining 6 kilometers portion being rehabilitated in Kara and Otedola Bridge areas along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, after receiving briefing by the Federal Controller of Works and the contractor, the minister assured that the April 30th completion date remains sacrosanct. In Lagos, Joel Mukbola, NTA News.
The Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Idowu Wohunwa, says the force is giving Lagos State government the support required to get to the root cause of the building collapse so as to prevent a reoccurrence. He spoke to NTA after assessing the situation at the site of Wednesday's collapsed building at Banana Island, Ikoyi, Etiosa local government area of Lagos State. Again, Joy Ken Ababoya has a report. We do apologize for our inability to bring you that report. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, is not oblivious of the plight of families of personnel who paid the supreme price while on active duty. This was evident at the presentation of checks to 78 families of fallen heroes in Lagos. Lynn Leneke reports that the Commissioner Lagos State Command handed over the checks to the beneficiaries.
These personnel have over time ensured that lives and property of the citizenry is protected across the country. With the highest number of police personnel population in the force, saddled with the responsibility of dealing with complex crimes in Lagos and beyond, some of these personnel have paid the supreme price, laying down their lives, while others are bearing various degrees of injuries sustained in the discharge of their constitutional role. These sacrifices have not gone unnoticed. 78 checks to the tune of 28 million naira were presented to families and next of kin to deceased police officers.
It will help my children in school. And the place you are living, at least you can put some things in order.
Commitment as a critical component of the police was also appreciated as 36 senior officers were decorated.
Welfare and promotion scheme represents a critical component of the agenda and the leadership vision of the Inspector General of Police. He has been consistent in ensuring that officers are put forward for promotion as at when due.
This will make us to redouble our efforts, that citizens will be able to close their 2 eyes and sleep.
Meanwhile, the Lagos Commissioner of Police have also assured residents of Isheri community where disputes erupted of their safety. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
And that wraps up Saturday Review on NTA Lagos Channel 10. Many thanks for your time. I am Essie Owomaka. Good evening.